Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with me. If you are just joining my channel, I'm so glad you stopped by. So I'm just saying, you should go ahead and subscribe because I help you make things for your friends and family. I don't just show you, but I tell you why you need to do things. And I think that makes me a little bit different than the millions of people that's on the YouTube right now. This is what we're making in this tutorial, okay? The shoe bag slash anything you want it to be bag, okay? Let's get started. All right, I have my things already prepped. The greatest thing about this, because I'm making it collapsible, is that I am not putting interface in it. Now, that's new for me. If you have checked my channel, if you have gone back, I believe wholeheartedly in interface. I don't like seeing things when I see quick reels and they just slap the outer fabric and a lining. Nope, I believe in interface. But for this particular video, because we're making it collapsible, I don't want it to be thick and supportive at all. We're using a special material, not a regular lining fabric that you would, cotton fabric. We are using a utility fabric. And hint, hint, right? We're at the end of February right now. Sadly, Joann's is closing, so I went to my local Joann's and I saw the utility fabric that I used for $2 a yard. Ask me how many yards I bought. Don't ask me. I put measurements on the screen. I'll also put them down below. Okay, I'm not going to measure them on screen and tell you what I have. Coordinating thread. Okay. We are starting off. So I have my lining fabric, that utility fabric, and then I have my outer fabric. I love red, y'all. I love red. My suitcases are red. I have red glasses. If you've seen some of my old videos, red pocketbooks, red car, red. I love red. Okay, anyway. So the first thing that we want to do is that lining fabric. Get your zipper, and we want to put the zipper so that the zipper is face down on top of the outer fabric. Zipper face down. Then we want your lining fabric, whatever you choose to use. If you're using a regular cotton fabric, it's fine. This is the utility fabric that I am using. It's also what's inside of like the suitcases and things like that, I realized. Okay, so my pretty side of my utility fabric is going face down on top of the zipper. And go ahead and pin. I'm not going to put a lot of pins, but if you need to, put pins across the whole top to hold your zipper in place. You want to ensure, if this is, because this is a beginner project, so if it's one of your first projects that you're doing, you definitely want to pin that zipper in place until you get to the point of knowing how to shift your zipper. Because look at this. If you don't pin your zipper in place, your zipper will shift. Okay? All right, so I'm just going to do a few just for the purpose of the video. and then I'm going to start sewing. Again, you go ahead and pin all the way across if you need to. I'm not going to do that. Okay, we're going to sew all the way across. Also, if you have a zipper foot, and if you would like to change your zipper foot, go ahead. I don't change my zipper foot. I'm going to sew with my presser foot because I find it quicker and easier for me. I'm lining up my presser foot, my second guide marker there. I'm lining that up with the edge of my fabric. I've always done that. It always works for me, hasn't failed me. And because I sew things in bulk, I'm thinking it's less time for me to actually switch out my foot every time I need to. One reason I'm really focusing on pinning for videos, but I don't normally pin when I'm sewing myself. I'm trying to get better at pinning for videos, because if people want to learn, I want them to learn the right way until they get comfortable. So what I'm doing at this point, look at this, I am just lifting this up. I'm moving my zipper pull out of the way. You see that? I'm just pulling it back, and then I'm going to readjust my fabric. You'll need to move that zipper pull at some point. Okay? And now we're ready to pick up where we left off and sew the whole length of the way. Again. So with my new sewing machine, I'm used to using my pedal foot and controlling it, but I don't have a pedal foot. Well, I do have one that I could use, but I'm using the automatic, so it's so weird and different for me. Awesome, and we're back stitching. Okay. So you should have something that looks like this. Go ahead, lift up that fabric so that you slide your liner underneath. What we want to do at this point, you want to iron down the seam so that we can do a top stitch. If you're using zippers a lot, get used to ironing down before you top stitch. It's going to force the seam that's inside this seam here, it's going to force it to lay flat. And that's what you want for two reasons. You want the zipper to lay flat so that your top stitch looks nice, but you also want it to lay flat. Oh, really? You want it to lay flat so that it doesn't create a bulk. Okay? Because otherwise, it's going to snag. Don't worry, I have a bamboo counter, so I'm not using my mat, my ironing mat. But my bamboo counter is great. It's fine. Okay, we want to put a top stitch all the way across. Okay, top stitching makes everything look professional and pretty. Beautiful. Okay, this is what you should have, top stitch. We want to pull up your fabric, your lining fabric. You want to separate it. Here's your outer fabric again. We want to bring the zipper. Notice we did the same thing when we started. We had the outer fabric. We had that zipper face down. We're doing the same thing again. We just moved the fabric out of the way and turned it around. So we have that outer fabric, and we are going to put this zipper face down again and do the same thing that we did on the other side. Bring the pretty side of your lining up and pin. We're sewing the other side of the zipper. Your zipper has two sides. We need to make sure that both sides get attached. Once again, I'm not going to pin the whole way, but please go ahead and do so if you need to. Okay, we're sewing all the way across this side, attaching the other portion of the zipper. Let's turn this right side. So go ahead in between the right sides of the fabric. Just turn it right side out. Your entire project, entire bag. Finagle it a little bit. We need to put a top stitch on the top of this side now. This is probably going to be a little awkward at first, but I'm going to show you how I do it, having flipped it. But the first thing I want to do is I want to iron this down so that, because I can feel, you can see the seam is curling, and that's the reason we want to top stitch, because we need that seam to lay flat. Okay, and that's what we're going to, let's iron this right now to get it flat. I can see my seam there, the fabric inside. I want to flatten that out. You know, we like to see things flat and pressed. Okay, at this point, we need to put this underneath the machine, right? So, I'm going to start off by putting just my tip under. And then I'm going to show you how we need to turn this inside a little bit. Okay, it does seem a little awkward once you have your zipper on. However, it's really not. So start your top stitch. You want to make sure that you have this pulled down a little bit so that you're not sewing the top of your fabric, the bottom of your fabric, I mean. You should only be sewing through 2 layers. Okay, let's do this now. Take your shoe bag, and let's just push it down inside here. Let's just push it down inside. Don't worry, your presser foot is down, so your fabric is not moving anywhere. Okay. My zipper just popped off, but that's okay, I got it. Okay, ready? And here we go. So your bag is technically inside out at this point, if you're looking at it, but is flat down onto the bed of your machine. I'm going to close my zipper up a little bit. Okay, finagling. Okay, there we go. Okay. I'm just feeding it through. I can see the bottom. Can you see the bottom of my zipper here? All I'm doing is feeding it through, and I'm shifting the fabric as it's going through the machine. Here we go. Okay. Almost done. I felt like I had better control of my needle when I had my pedal foot. I'm getting used to this automatic. Okay, we're almost at the end. Perfect. Okay. And I did a back stitch. Okay. Lift up that foot. We're going to slide the fabric right underneath. This is the stuff that's not pretty about sewing that you don't see. All in those fast forward videos, but this is showing you how to do it. Just slide the fabric underneath your foot. That's all. All right. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm satisfied. Beautiful. Okay. I want to put a stay stitch on my zipper because I'm not using one that has, I'm using zipper tape, a zipper tape, not one that already has the butt. So I'm just putting a stay stitch at the edge of my zipper tape, and it's going to hold the teeth together. All right. I love these zippers, but if I don't put fabric at the end, tabs, which I don't need to for this shoe bag, then you have to make your zipper stay together until you're ready to close that up. All right. Grab your fabric here for the tab. Okay. Measurements down below, but it looked like this, and all I did was fold it in to the middle, and I folded it over to create the tab. We're going to sew down both sides. We want to close it up down this side, and we want to put a stitching down that length as well. Just going to go like this. Okay. So that I know, there it is. Okay, let's put the tab. You want the tab obviously to go at the top of your, where the handle is. So we're going to, because the zipper goes up that way and closes at the top, this is where we're putting the handle. Okay. So we're putting this about 1 inch in from the finished seam. Let's see, 1 inch. We want the pretty side of, the good side of your tab. So 1 inch in from the seam here. You just want to leave a little bit out the raw edge there. Go ahead and pin. And again, normally I just put a stay stitch without pinning, but I'm pinning for the video. Okay, tuck this under. You want to make sure it's not curled. Make sure it doesn't look like this, because then your strap will be curled. Okay, so we want 1 inch. Okay, stay stitch across the top. Inside out. Inside out. Okay. I love this utility fabric, and I was so happy I just got it on clearance since Joanna's closing. I mean, I'm sad Joanna's closing. However, you know, another story, another video for another time. I can see my fold here, so my zipper is lined up to make sure that it's in the middle. What we want to do at this time is we need to create this. So that we need to create this right here. It will make your bag expand. Okay, so they will make it want to go like this. Okay, and give you room in there. You're not going to be able to see this. However, just know that 1.5 inches in, I don't know if you see, you're not going to be able to see my marking. 1.5 inches in is where we are marking for our fold. Going to fold this in right here and pin. We want to do the same thing on all four corners. We're going to stitch directly across. Stitch all the way across on both sides. Backstitch, be sure you backstitch. Back a little bit. Extra love at the zipper. You use the zipper often, and so it gets a lot of stress. You want to make sure that you put extra stitches over whatever stress points you use. All right. We have one more quick step to both sides of this, and then we are done in one that I made. Pretty side to pretty side of your lining fabric. Oh, we can go ahead and take those pins out. Okay, so if you're doing it for yourself, you know what? Go ahead and finish it pinking shears or zigzag stitch. But if you're making it for someone else, take it that next step. Okay, we want to finish it off pretty side, putting these nice little tabs on the end. And this is why I said don't worry if your ends came out looking a little wonky, because you're not going to see them right now. Same seam allowance that we sewed for our edging. Fold over. You can smooth it down if you want to. Flip the bag over. You know, if you want to, look, go ahead and you can tuck that in if you want to. Tuck it in. Tuck this side in. Okay. All right, I'll hold it as I go. And now fold this down to the seam. Oh, yeah. And then fold over one more time. Okay? Tuck that in there. I'm gonna hold it while I sew it. I can just cut it or sew it. Okay. And straight across. This is the last step. This is the last part, guys. Yay! We're done. Cut off if you have any stragglies. Let's turn this baby right side out. Are we excited or what? Oh, I gotta pop that up. Look at this. How about that? We have a nice, beautiful, pretty shoe bag. So again, like I said in the video, the shoe bag, this could be, you could even put, once you could poof it out, right? You could make this your shoe bag. You can put more than one pair of shoes. I made this for me because I'm Bigfoot. So my feet are this long, is sized for my feet. You don't need to see my size shoe. That's a lie. I'm an 11. But the point is, the length is meant for me. Okay, if you need to make yours shorter, go ahead. Otherwise, guess what? You can put 2 pairs in here. But if you wanted to use it for something other than shoes, we talked about in the other video where you can go ahead and put bras, panties, etc. inside of them. Hey, that works too. The point is that this is collapsible and it will lay flat. We didn't put fusible fleece in it, so that utility fabric, look at this, we just fold it right up. It's going to slide somewhere inside of your luggage. That's all. You can fold it up again if you want it to. Okay? And you have that nice durable utility cotton fabric right inside. I love it. And then I don't have to feel like I'm getting actual fabric dirty with my shoes that I've stepped all over the world on. Okay, so that's all I got for you. Thank you for joining me. You guys wanted it. I delivered. So there it is. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you at the next video. All right. She looks so pretty. It looks so good. Oh, it's gonna look so good with my red suitcase. Another bag, as if I needed another.